How's it going? It's Man Tomorrow here. I want to thank y'all for coming through. I want y'all to hit the like button as soon as you come in here. Give people a couple minutes to come through so that we'll be able to get this live stream started. Give people a couple minutes to come in here. Hit a one in the chat if you can hear me clearly. Hit a one in the chat if you can hear me clearly before we go into this live stream. All right, there we go. All right, let's get this thing on the road. All right, man. So it's very clear what direction that most of these people want to take this space into. I don't think I came here for entertainment. I didn't come here in 2015 being here to be an entertainer. I came here because I wanted to see men recognize some change. And it's quite obvious that a lot of men don't actually want to go into that actual direction. And that's fine. Because at some point, you're going to have to be able to put this stuff into action in your own life. There's a bunch of questions that Sister George and Concrete Rose actually asked on the actual program when they had me up there to interview me. And I think a lot of those questions actually deserve entire live streams to actually flesh out. And even though this question was asked later on in the actual stream itself, I still think the question about community is probably probably one of the most important questions because things can only work, and I mean really work, once everybody have a definite understanding about what the problems are here. Because like I brought up on many different programs, like if you're having problems with child support, then you need to go talk to an attorney, not trauma bond online about your child support issues. If you have a problem with women, then I suggest you go to somebody other than unlicensed dating coaches and actual professionals to actually get professional help with that. Because you could be trying to lower your actual standards to where you can actually net someone who's going to cause you long term harm. And no actually certified or licensed therapist would actually guide you through that type of system. They just wouldn't. Again, a lot of people may have it rough in the actual origin department, and that's fine. But then again, you have to go to licensed professionals in order to get help with this type of stuff. And what really stops people from getting the help that they actually need is the inability to not be honest about where you currently are and what your actual actions that you've taken based on this information that you picked up. Because that information right there is going to decide your actual outcome. That information. Because this is an input output based system. The people who you follow in directions of should be a reflection of where you want to go, not where you don't want to go. But that's what we actually have done. And this is how the black manosphere get destroyed. This is how the red pill get destroyed. This is how the black pill get destroyed. This is how all these things get destroyed. You want to know why? No minimum standards. no minimum standards, and the ability to want to leverage the collective ignorance so that way you can gain a bigger crowd as possible. Dude, it's easy to talk about women, especially women you don't have any access to, women who are not jumping up on your panel to actually see whether the stuff that you say is realistic or not. It's easy to do that because the women based complaint system that we have online, it all has a tie that ties together. Is that you want the courage to talk to these other women that you don't know, but you ain't got no courage to go up against a woman that you do know. Like the woman who actually caused you this type of problem. So if you don't understand fully the things that you're actually getting into, how are you going to be able to help yourself get out of them? Because anybody can get you to bad consequences, but you don't need the actual ability to recover from bad consequences to have a great outcome today. These are actual things that people are actually doing on their own. Because yeah, everybody can't sit at your table, bro. And I'm gonna start going more into the more academic based understanding about what these things actually mean. So that way you can look up these things on your own and read them on your own outside of this live stream. Because you can't say that you've been here 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, and the only thing you want to do is talk about not making any progress in your personal life. That just can't be the case. Of course, I could be more popular if I didn't care about where these people went and I only talked about stupid shit. Dude, that is very easy to do. But everybody can't sit at your table, man. Everybody can't sit there. Because when you start to make the actual ability to sit at your table so easy, that means that a lot of people come there to actually want to overwatch your actual success. Because a lot of people who's trying to sit at your table, these people don't mean you no good. Actually, they don't even have results that you can even point to which they're even talking from. Then they want to kind of represent all men anywhere after destroying and disturbing the natural mission statement. It was very clear. Come out here, understand how things work. Once you get offline, go do something productive with your life. How hard is that? It went from that till creating a space where individuals come here, being on the street stuff. I have no respect for street people. I have no respect for people who currently think that they're dealing with their counterpart in society, especially the incorrect one, because you have to act a certain way in order to get a certain type of access to that individual. And you cannot say that there is no compromise of character when it comes to dealing with said individual. I just don't believe it. And there's no proof on the table that's showing me that that's the case. So, tell you about a situation here that an individual just went through. So that way you can understand that if they're not dressed like you, if they're not eating like you need to make sure that these vultures are not at your table. Because in the thumbnail, it shows the shocked and surprised look on everybody's face whenever there is an actual vulture that shows up to the table. But somehow you have to treat this vulture like everybody else has a suit on. There's a dress code and how everybody else looks and how everybody else operates. If that's not the same as where you're going, what's wrong with telling this bird to get on up out of here? But this person didn't do that. But you're going to have to learn to do that because this actual construct that we have here within this country pretty much sets you up to not survive on your own. It teaches you to pull yourself in 30 different directions so that way you'll never be able to move forward. So before we go forward, we'll shout out to the people who's currently here. All right. Let's go with She We here, Garfield Lawson, Roger Spice, SC, D1 Trades, Spawn the Programmer, Little Rock 2517, Jermaine Taylor, Rolling Unsung, Seeking My Creator. All right. Make sure you hit the like button. Because I think every single environment that I went to and that I end up leaving going to, I've always ran into the same problem. And these problems are going to keep presenting themselves until you figure out how to solve them. What's going on, Major Ego? All right. Yeah. Every place that you go to, you're going to feel out of place. That's not that big of a problem, and it's not that big of a deal. However, you got to have some situational awareness so that way when you go into the next spot, that you're not running into all the old problems from the old space. All right. All right, let's just go back to my situation. Then I'm going to talk about his situation and how he made the mistakes that I didn't make. All right. So when I left Mississippi and I went to the actual military, most of the people who didn't make it through basic training, they acted like the people from Mississippi. They acted like there wasn't nothing at stake. They tried to fit their hood persona into the actual military lifestyle. When they got the little money, they tried to spend it on all the actual things that would be extravagant to someone within that situation. They really didn't try to carry themselves as a person who was on a different path. They started hanging back out or sought out deliberately those type of individuals from the previous place. They made a lot of those mistakes. But all those people there was there of varying age groups. Me, I was 17 when I left. But there was people there in their 30s, 40s, and I think some in their 50s, people who were active guard or whatever. They were switching over, switching career fields. That's when I noticed that everybody didn't know how to work together as men, period. It was shocked and surprised to me because where I was at, before my dad had died and my grandfather had died and one of my grandmothers had died, I assumed everybody else had the same upbringing. Boy, I could not be more wrong once I got around those individuals. Those individuals did not know how to work together at all. And you have the same thing going on that you see around environments where there are no type of rules or standards. People knifing each other in the back, people taking other people's stuff, people trying to set people up for a disaster, not understanding that in this actual group that we are part of, all 60 people within this bunkhouse is actually responsible for each other's failure. But that's the military lifestyle. You can keep parts of that when you go to like the federal government or where you go work for one of these defense contractors. You can take some of that stuff with you, but you can't take it all with you. But you got to have a level of situational awareness about the place where you're leaving and the place where you're going, because everybody don't operate the same, especially when it comes to corporate America. Because a lot of people don't know how to survive within corporate America either, which is a whole another type of culture change and shock. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It's about the circumstances that you're trying to uphold whenever you go somewhere else. Because a lot of these people don't have your value system. They just don't. And as this individual found out that nobody else had his value systems but him, and he kept trying to be around individuals and hope that some of the good of him can, quote unquote, rub off on other people. That is not how that works. That stuff doesn't happen that way. There's no real or true rationale to think that that's the case, especially now. You got to realize the people who's there and people who ain't supposed to be there at this point. Hold on a second. Somebody's giving me a call. Hold on a second. All right, there we go. I'm back. So you have to understand that this whole lifestyle of yours, you have to maintain it. You have to maintain it at all times. Because these people who you think are your friends and you people you think you hang out with online, a lot of these people are just sizing you up and trying to rush in when there's an actual problem. To actually keep to actually take you down from the inside out. You can't be announcing your moves to everybody, man. Not even people who you're even close with. Because a lot of these people lost control of everything, pillow talking with the wrong individuals. And that's what happened in this person's case. In this person's case, he thought that, you know what? I'm gonna live on this other side of town. I'm gonna have my stuff all the way together. It's called Doug. It's called BMT. I'm going to spend time out of mine trying to help people on this other side of town. And these people are going to thank me for my help and for my service. That's not the case. You have to draw your line of community way narrower and way sharper than what you draw it with. Because a lot of these people are waiting on you to come back so they can take all your stuff away from you. And it's time for us as men to stop thinking like that. It's time for us to start getting our own things together as men before we start trying to go help all these other people out. I understand the mentoring thing, but at the end of the day, you need a hell of a lot more peace than they need help. Because remember, it took a lot of work for you to get to where you are. And I know you've been socialized into actually thinking that you have to stop your actual progress to start somebody else's. That's not the case. A lot of those people are at home there. They're at home there. You have to realize that a lot of these people have been socialized into thinking that they're just waiting for you to come back so they can take your stuff. They're waiting for you to come back so that way you can be outnumbered in their house. And you can't really do those things. This is why I really don't really listen to when women talk about community because they've always had a community of protection. And you have to understand that women don't care about protection toward the detriment of others. They don't care about that. They have never cared about that. The only thing they care about is where the benefits at. It's going Ryle. So what you got to recognize that you got to take a page out of their book and you have to draw this community thing a little bit narrower about where you are. And the first thing you have to do is you have to be far more of a competent individual first. That's the first thing you got to do. Be far more of a competent individual first. This way, you're not really dependent on everybody else's opinion because your work should take you where you need to go. The opinions you should care about are the people within your field, not the people who you're trying to save. Because if the people who you're trying to save, the people who you're trying to help, if their opinion matters more than yours, then you truly can't help or save them anyway. Because those people don't want to think that they're at the bottom of anything. That's not what they want to think. They want to think that they're still at the top. They just need for a successful individual to come around to give them a chance to mutiny them out of their own stuff. Because that's all these people know how to do. The only thing they know how to do is hang around, corrupt, and destroy things. They don't build anything. The only thing they know how to do is bastardize, corrupt, and destroy. They don't know how to build anything. They don't know how to stand on their own 2 feet. They don't know how to pull their own weight. They have no intentions on pulling their own weight. So when a person comes up to you and tells you that, you know what? I like being around a group of people. A group of people for what? So that way everybody else can just give you ideas on things that you need to be doing because you lack the inability to actually put any of these things into action yourself. Because a lot of people want to take things that you say, they want to kind of remix those things that you say, and they want to say the things that you say around other people. Yes, that's why they need a whole bunch of people around. They have no identity. They have no true identity. So they need the ideas of an entire group of productive individuals, knowing damn well they don't even have any intentions on being so. So that way their life can work. And this has been their lifestyle forever. So you have to understand at this point that you know how you don't see any or many older individuals that you can see or trust? That's for real. That's very true. And you have to carry that with you. But then again, you can still know how the outcomes are and still have a better outcome once you start moving. You have to bring something. And I'm not talking about paper plates and water. You have to bring something to the main course if you're going to be here. I understand that these people want to sit around and they want to be entertained and all that stuff. I'm cool with it. But at the end of the day, when it's time to go out and do the real work, I think you should shut your mouth about real issues. I think you should just stay talking about women that you don't have access to. That's what I think is actually a good job. Let you stay there. But what it is these individuals are not fine with destroying the environment. What they want to do is they want to destroy the chances for other people to get out of the environment themselves. And you have to understand that that's how out of place that they look. They looked at out of place, especially when you have a high level of male cowardice that assists them in doing the things that they're actually doing. I understand that they want to blame the women, but it's the men who go along with it that makes it even worse. It's the men that turn a blind eye to it that makes it even worse. It's the men who decided that they didn't have any choice but this choice right here. And they're going to make it everybody else's problem when it's a personal problem. But see, they want to pour their entire pain upon the entire planet because they stuck. They want other people to be stuck with them. This is why I never really got off into the relationship argument or conversation because I believe in everybody else's ability to choose. Because with all these bad choices out here, it's going to show your actual value system based on what you continue to deal with, what you continue to put up with, what you continue to accept. This is why when individuals talk about needing this type of pre-established group before they get started, like, no, you don't need a pre-established group. What you have to do is pull your own weight, and when you can pull your own weight within whatever field that you, within the career field that you found, then you already have your group already. What's going on, NJ Prophet? You already have your group. Because guess what? Not having your stuff together and needing a moonshot chance to get on somewhere, that's a group too. That is an entire group by itself too. And you have to realize that it is a group. A group of parasites all arguing over their potential meal in the future. So you have to stay away from these collectivists. I draw the line to collectivists once you start getting people outside of your own household to come within your household to fix things that are your problem and your fault, like the child support issue. I can't fix that. Go to a person. The lack of actual women around that you want to deal with. How about you get your stuff together and go somewhere else where there are actual people that you want to deal with? Not hard, not terribly difficult. The next thing, by God, go to your city council meeting or at least know what's going on within your local area. You may not like what's going on, but you still have to know what is going on. Yes, you have to learn how to make choices out of bad options. You do it all the time. You do it when it comes to food. You do it when it comes to gasoline. You do it when it comes to fast food. You do it when it comes to damn near every other choice. You have to know what's going on within your local area. If you can keep up with mumble rap and ESPN and all these scandals, then you can keep up with what's locally going on in your area, man. And you got to learn the actual American history and where you fit in with that history. You got to learn that too. Because what kind of sense does it make to have progress if you keep needing to have these repeat conversations about minimum things that you should have already learned by now? American government was like taught in like eighth or ninth grade. You should already know what the history of the country is. But a lot of these people choose places to live that they cannot affect any change for. Like a lot of these people choose to live in these rural areas where there are no opportunities, where they're barely productive, so that way they can just have something to complain about. Now, they don't have any chance at fixing anything. None of that. But a lot of these people want something to complain about. If it's not women, it's some other dumbass reason. But but see, you got to be above that, and you have to realize that. Look, man, everybody can't sit at this table of progress. Entertainment is not part of progress. It just isn't. It's not part of it. Because all this work that you're gonna do, that you have to do, there's not gonna be any entertainers there. Actually, entertainers are gonna be there to draw you away from the actual mission statement that you choose for yourself. And the more exclusive that you make your actual group, the less you have to worry about these actual problems of people taking your focus away. Why? Everybody in the group is focused on the same thing. So if you want to be all, California with it, you know, smile in your face, stab you in the back, that New York shit, that crazy shit. You don't have to do that. You clearly don't have to do any of that. Next thing you got to do is you got to stop other people from trying to represent things that you don't represent. If you're not part of that group, then just say you're just not part of the group. That's it. The only thing you have to say is, look, man, these people just don't do Manosphere content. I don't know what they're doing here. Yeah. If you do the Antonio Brown off the field, guess what you don't get to do? You don't get to come back to football. You're done. If what you want to do is focus on pseudoscience, when there's actual science out there that you can actually look at, then I don't know what to do with you. Right? If you have all this information, but you have no results based on the information that you have, I'm not sure what part of the group that you're a part of. Because we seem to have drawn the collective in the wrong place. Yeah, that's what it is. But that's why they do speak on behalf of them, because it's easy. And you can't really hold an entertainer responsible. And this is how the people with the lowest amount of morality tend to be the highest successful people among our group. You want to know why? They have no scruples, and people don't hold them to no level of responsibility. Both of those things. While you have to follow a particular path of staying away from these people, most of the group is out here actually betraying the entire cause just to keep this full 52 card deck of entertainers around. They want to be 300, 500 channels of entertainment. Oh, okay, so when I want to tune into this, I'll just go over here. And when I be on this, and I'll just be over here. Like, nah, man, like you don't need to do all that. You don't need to stretch yourself in that many directions. There's really no need for that. Especially if you have a specific place that you want to end up at the end of the day. But you have to realize, man, that you cannot move like a woman out here. Now, as a man, bro, you can't move like them. But see, we made it so that men can actually move like women without any consequences. We made it so that way now the people who are not even part of the manosphere anymore are talking about how much value that they take away from the space, not how much value they add to the space. So since nobody wants to actually be a leader anywhere, I'll do it for you. I'm the president of the Black Manosphere. Now I'm not gonna do what Angry Man did, you know, sell our name to an actual guy selling dick pills and shit. Like I'm not gonna do no stupid ass shit like that. And none of you motherfuckers held him responsible for doing that either. None of y'all did. We still got work to do out here, and I mean a lot of it. Not only do we got work to do, but the work is actually easier now. The work is easier now. When you pick a career field, when you go to the workforce center, when you ask them what the top 10 jobs within your state that are unfilled, if you look over the past 5 or 10 years, it's still probably the same jobs. It's probably, You're getting money from the state to actually go to school with, and even if you ain't got money to go to school with, you still have to go get student loans like everybody else and put yourself in position to win and leave these people behind. You have to you have to do both of those things. I'll say the best type of mentoring is telling people how this stuff works and stand back and see if they're going to go get that information and if they're going to do something with it. Because if you keep allowing these people to have this happy medium of not really making any progress and still keeping up this victimhood narrative, then that's exactly what they're going to do. But then again, made that you got to have people here who want to be led somewhere. A lot of people here don't want to be led anywhere. A lot of people think they're at the top of where they currently are at. Yeah, I can't see what AM1's saying. So if y'all can repost his actual chats, that would be grateful if somebody can do that. But this is currently where we are at. We as a collective, outside of the household talking now, we as a collective, outside of the household talking now, we don't have a good image out there because entertainers, rappers, and 50-year-old dudes who should have been off the field long years ago are the actual face of us out there. A lot of times it's very hard to get people to take most men seriously, especially when they come from the circumstances that we come from. Yeah, happens all the time, man. Happens all the time. At the end of the day, I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna actually bring people through here. Yeah, but that's the problem, man. And look, man, look. It's been a great time with these guys who don't want to be leaders. It's been a great time. If you want to be focused on how many people that you can mislead while talking about nonsense online, you could be a leader doing that. You're right, man. Of Steel. That's what I'm saying. You give them the direction, and if they don't take hold to it, then you move on. Because the people who don't want help, and I'm talking about exclusively the people who don't want help. The people who don't want help move on a hell of a lot faster than the people who are trying. Yeah, because it makes them feel something inside of themselves whenever they see you as not part of their group. Because they have a bad self reflection of themselves about the things that they actually go through every day. They have a bad self reflection of themselves. And that's not your problem. And it never was. So you have to realize that these individuals here want these women so that way they can recreate the same problems that we've always had within this culture. That's why they want these women. But that's not our problem. The women ain't our problem. The dudes who want to go listen to that type of BS, that's not our problem. We got things to fix ourselves. And listening to people who've already lost with women ain't gonna get you there. So what I'm gonna start doing, I'm gonna start going over this pseudoscience that we see floating around our space, just to show you how ridiculous it is. Because part of leadership and part of leading the actual manosphere, it's about destroying what got us here in the first place. I think the entertainment class of people have already seen themselves out the door a long time ago. I don't really think it's not even possible to even cover them or no need to even waste time on them. I want to focus more on the pseudo intellectual, the pseudo science portion of why we're here. The reason why you have to go to the male female dynamics and relationship nonsense. What's going on, Ike? But that's what this is because we don't need PhDs within the space if you're not out here formulating studies. If you're not formulating studies as a PhD, I'm not talking about leveraging the collective ignorance of black men to give them fake representation. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, okay, I live in Colorado and things work. Okay? You need help in Colorado, you go to the workforce center. Go to the city and county of Denver if you're in the Denver County, Denver metro area, or if your ass is in Aurora, you got to go to the Arapahoe County workforce center and they'll get you straightened out. Very easy. You got to have a career field around here. You got to have something else going on here within the Black Manosphere other than being a full-time YouTuber. You got to have something else going on within your life, man. Because not having anything realistic going on inside of your life is how you start to leverage all of this foolishness and BS within this space. And that's how you drag everybody else off of their mission. Because you wanted to betray the cause for a couple of bucks. You got to understand that you got to fight the right way for the right things. Okay? You're not going to correct liberal women. You're not going to correct them. You're not going to beat them. You're not going to have people come up to you and invest in you because it's altruistic. You're going to have to go out there and get it for yourself. You got to hit this productivity piece, the skills and resources piece, and the discipline piece. That's all. Because most of my content coming down the way has a lot to do with power dynamics, different types of dominance, different types of time management, different types of leverage, different types of compromise, those type of things. And that's the direction that we need to go in. Because the people who actually don't want progress, you gotta leave those people alone and you gotta leave those people out. Actually, I'm going back through this wrench list. If I haven't seen your ass here in the past week, week and a half, then there's no reason why you need to have a wrench on my channel. Period. Like we need to go into a different direction. So that's what we need to go from here on out. Let's call it Xantos Clutch. So that way we can start cleaning up this actual image of the Black Manosphere itself. Because the Black Manosphere is not about leveraging collective pain that men have actually went through. The Black Manosphere is no longer about that. And if you still are on that, then there's a bunch of different separate providers out there for that type of content. But we need to get this thing back on track. We have to. Nobody wants to be a leader? Fine, I'll be the fucking leader. While their presence is not needed, presence of women is actually welcome. But that still has nothing to do with the actual shit that we're actually doing. The things we keep needing to be doing are moving ahead and moving forward. No, I can't see anything. I can't see if anybody super chatted on this actual live stream. I don't even see that somebody super chatted on the live stream. I don't see it. Unfortunately, I do not see it. So the real work needs to be done once you turn this live stream off. Once you turn this live stream off, time for you to sit down and have a little talk about where you need to be headed and how long it's going to really take for you to get there. Yeah, I know he super chatted. People are saying that he super chatted, but I can't even see that. I can't even see it. Nope, can't even see it. And I'm in StreamYard. Hold on a second. Okay, I just opened up an incognito window. I see May super chat for $4.99. I do not. Okay, AM1 $5. I do see that. All right, so I guess I have to open up an incognito window and look at the chat from there because I can't see it from the actual chat from a regular channel for some reason. I'm not sure what that's about, but I guess I'll just have an incognito window open for actual YouTube going forward, so that way we can be able to see that. Yeah, well, I'll just have the incognito window open. It's not a big deal. I can just move the chat from there. I can just look at that chat anyway. So, like, I can't see BK from the Rockies either if he's here. Actually, Manosphere Hall of Fame, I don't think that's the case, man. I don't think that's the case. I'm a problem from where these people are actually trying to take the space, right? And these individuals have to know that you're not going to take our actual image and do that to our actual image. Because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to use image to actually destroy our image overall. Like, they want us to be looked at like a bunch of fools and clowns. Actually, their job is to create the underclass, the permanent underclass that these people expect. These people actually want to do that. They actually want to create this permanent underclass by not getting their stuff together, by trying to link up with the wrong type of women. Like, these people are trying to do that. They are literally trying to specifically do that. But that's fine. But since their actual game plan is so well known and already out there and up front in front of everybody's face, then there shouldn't be any reason to keep falling for it, right? So what I'll do is I'll go to the media and I'll pay for it. So that way we can be able to do this actual thing itself. Again, I don't need blackmanosphere.com to actually do positive things for actual all men. black men included online. The reason why I'm taking this leadership spot in the actual Black Manosphere is because none of these people are actually qualified to even have the position of leadership in the first place. All right, cool. All right, run on something, man. You have a nice one. You are right about that, AM1. They are giving weak men an excuse of being weak. That's how they keep their power over the actual space. That's why they have to run to so many panels covering the same information from the same dumbass points of view. Because they are literally here to make their weakness and their inability to find happiness the actual point of the actual space when that's not true. That's a personal problem. That is a personal problem that you tried to make a societal issue. So when you guys hear in the future, when people start talking about the manosphere, keep in mind they're not talking about the space. They're talking about their homeboys who's destroying the actual space. Yeah, this is so not even that hard going forward. Like I said, there's probably about 100 videos that's responsible for all my subscribers. And most of my subscribers are not from America. They're not. Whenever I translate a lot of my videos into different languages, people want to listen to that type of stuff in different languages. And when I do that, the only thing I have to do is just whenever you have a video, it's actually it actually have an actual document that you can actually translate into other languages that I pay somebody to pay for, that I pay a lot of money for somebody to do, and then they turn around and they put it in different languages. So like a lot of my views don't even come from people in America. They are. I mean, it is the subscribers because a lot of this stuff is their actual worldview. This is their worldview. They go through this stuff all the time. Look, we just got to go in a different direction. And being the president of the Manosphere, if you have a problem with the way things are running, my links stay dropped. My email is in the about section. Okay? But we have to get this brand under control. We have to. No, the government doesn't give a damn about you destroying your own space for progress. Nobody cares about that kind of stuff when it comes to the government. I know what they think, and I know why they think it. And they're not even worried about anybody in the Black Manosphere like that. They don't even care. But the actual white counterparts, that's a whole different deal. They actually do care about those things. Again, you got to stop needing this collection of people around before you act. That's the problem in the first place. You want everybody to line up at the actual starting point before you actually took off in the direction. You don't need that. You need more individual actions. You're not going to get the cooperation that you want out of nobody. You might as well take your ass out there and do exactly what you needed to do on your own without people watching. It's going on Biscuit 2005. Like, they can storm it all they want to. It's just not a place for you. The only thing you have to do is do the actual content that they can't participate in. That's all you have to do to run these dudes off. They will find another provider. It's not even that hard to find another provider. They're not here to make progress anyway. It's so easy to find another provider of nonsense. You don't even have to go that far. Yeah, man. I got my MBA. Yes, indeed. Yeah, man. Go out there and get it done, man. Bro, none of us was left with a great start. All right? We already know that. You got to go make your own start out here in your generation. Dude, anybody can be an entertainer. I just don't want to do that type of stuff. I just don't want my face connected to nonsense. I don't want to do that. You think when I go in here for these government contracts and they actually look up the content that I actually do, you think I want to be associated with people who talk about and respond to women online when they can easily ignore them? Like, dude, I don't want to be, dude, I don't want to be around that type of stuff, man. I don't want to be. All right, look like I'm just over an hour here, or getting close to an hour. So, what we're gonna do on Sunday, because again, it's dismissing and destroying the old order, right? That's the primary mode of business. It's showing you exactly how the outcome looks of this permanent underclass thing that people are concerned about, but they shouldn't be that concerned about it. Because if you're taking individual action, dude, you don't have to worry about being part of the permanent underclass. But there are men out there who actually want to create that. Like right now, look at my StreamYards. The only super chat I see is May. I go to my actual incognito page. I see everybody chatting. Everybody. But that's just where we're at right now. And I'm not gonna have YouTube fix their system. I've already talked to them too many times. They don't want to fix it. So you just have to leave that there with them. But hell, you don't need the chat in order to take any like type of realistic action though. You don't need that. What's going on, LOM? So with that said, on the man tomorrow, I want to thank you guys for coming through. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and things are gonna be looking a lot different around here. But we got to stop these people from destroying the brand of the Manosphere going forward. You're not part of the space. You're a scab. You want to be Manosphere. You want to take everything off the rails because you're just a sick, sad, and sorry human being. I'm not sure why you joined the space. It doesn't matter. You can go to any live stream you want to, doing a minute live streams on the same dumb, ridiculous stuff. You still ain't Manosphere. At the end of the day, you ain't Manosphere. Yeah, they are trying to distract these dudes. They're trying to distract these dudes with a whole bunch of words and women talk to get you from actually formulating any type of actions and having any type of results based actions on your own self. So, with that said, I want to thank you guys for coming through. I'm the man tomorrow, the president of the Black Manosphere. What's going on, Truth as I know it. And you guys have a really nice rest of your day. Listen, Giannis, who is it? Giannis. Who is that? Sound like a basketball player, I think. Yeah, man. Same to you, Rod Spice. Yeah, man. But at the end of the day, swag on swag. That's what you got to do. Renaissance man, look, man, bro, listen, man. That's what you got to do. Okay, okay, okay. I thought he was a ball player. Yeah, yeah. I thought he was a basketball player. But at the end of the day, these dudes only have a lot of power because they have to send you into a direction of being focused on nonsense that you need to not be focused on. This one when Mr. Research said on his actual channel about actual Clubhouse, dude, I don't want to be over there, man. No, sir. No, no, no. And if I do, I have my own room where we talk about things in progress and we just get up out of there. but we got to have more of a like a public presence. So I got to start putting all that stuff in the Notion, and so that way we can keep this stuff on the business of actually getting these people out of here because you don't belong here, and we have to take responsibility for these individuals who are destroying our actual space by actually putting up some type of bulwark against the fact that these people don't belong here. It's time we started to get this stuff back on track to the 1.0 thing. Yeah, man, let's get it back on track. And if you are too far out there worried about women, then I can't help you. I can't save you, and I'm not going to chase you down. I'm not going to chase you down. The moment you come on my live streams talking about this bitch talk, bounce. That's it. Out of here. Only thing you have to do is not cater to these people. How hard is that? I think it's very easy to lead the manosphere with the actual content that I've been leading the manosphere with the entire time. So with that said, I got a lot of things to do, but we're gonna get this stuff solved and under control. So I want to thank you guys for coming through seriously. And you guys have a really nice rest of y'all productive day. Peace.